It's a scenario most of us have gone through. I resist this scenario for this very reason, because every time I seem to switch phones, all of my contacts, some of my calendar items, maybe a few of my photos seem to go missing. Well, there's a simple solution. You need to be saving things to the cloud. And we're not talking just photos, but apps, contacts, appointments, everything. Tech expert Sarah Kimmel is here to explain why. It's great to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you too.
I think of the cloud every time we talk about it. First of all, I'm one of those people that has no clue what we're actually talking about, but I'll pretend to own it a little bit more than my brain comprehends. But I think of that that scene in Toy Story, the cloud, you know, the ominous, the cloud. Any quick one-liner as to how me and the rest of the world might understand the cloud a little bit better?
It's basically the internet. You're just saving things to somewhere that's not a physical device.
Okay, you're focusing on 6 things today that we should not save on our phone, our physical device, but we should be saving on the cloud. And do you find most of us are guilty of making mistakes in these areas?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a common phrase, new phone, who dis? You know?
Yeah.
But if you're saving your contacts to your cloud-based account, your Gmail or anything like that, you won't have that problem.
So let's start there, contacts. How do we go about saving our contacts to the cloud?
So it's really easy. As long as you're logged into a cloud account, like your Gmail account, to your phone, it's just a simple drop down. And so when you're on your contacts, you drop it down and you store it to whatever account you want to store it to. So whether it's your iCloud account, whether it's your Gmail account, just make sure you're not storing it on your phone.
Yeah, so that all of your people and their numbers and corresponding Christmas card addresses, that always hits me every December, they're there when you switch the phone. Appointments, I live and die by my calendar, my phone calendar. How can I make sure that I keep myself straight?
Yeah, it's the same thing. As long as you're logged into your iCloud or your Gmail, you can drop it down and make sure you're storing it to the correct calendar. And that's the one thing people forget, is they just go for the default, like, okay, I'm putting my appointment in, and they're not looking to see which calendar they're actually saving it to.
The color coding can be a clue, right?
Yes, for sure. So, all of my calendar appointments are orange, my daughter's are yellow, and you can just drop it down like, okay, that's the right calendar.
Okay, all right. Now, the contacts, the calendar items, those are about convenience.
Yes.
These next few kind of tap into safety, things you don't want to save on your phone for security purposes. First, photos of important documents.
Yeah, photos of important documents. So your passport, your driver's license. A lot of times you have to take a picture of your driver's license to send it in for verification of your identity on things like that.
Right.
And you just keep it there. If somebody were to get a hold of your phone, they could plug that into a computer and get that information from your phone. So you don't want to save any of those photos on your device.
I can take it on my device, I just delete it.
Yeah, delete it immediately. As soon as you've got it sent off to where it needs to go, go ahead and delete it immediately from your phone. If you have it automatically saving to another location, you might want to delete it off there as well.
Manually delete that.
Yeah.
But the cloud we feel safe about.
As long as you have to log into that cloud account to access that photo. Because if somebody gets a hold of your phone and can just open up your pictures and see all those cloud devices, then you don't want them to be able to still see that device or that photo.
I'm guilty of this next one. Passwords saved in our notes.
Yes. Please don't do that.
Oh.
Please, please, please. It's just like putting a sticky note on your computer. Don't do that. So yeah, if you store passwords in a notepad on your phone, again, if somebody gets access to your phone, they'll be able to see all of those passwords. So you want to put them in a password app like Dashlane or LastPass, and then it's secured. You have to log into that account in order to access your passwords. You don't want them to just be readily available.
So I go to log into, let's say, gap.com, right, to take advantage of the 40% off sale. Of course, this is just a hypothetical. But
totally hypothetical.
If my password is saved in one of these that you recommend, LastPass or Dashlane, then I have to type in like a number code or a password, but it will automatically populate my password. It's just not saved on my phone.
Right, and it's so much easier to log in that way too, because it's automatically populating. You don't even have to remember what your password is, as long as it's stored in this password protected application, and then you have to log in to that password application in order to access that. So you have to remember one password.
Okay, I can handle that. I'm going to talk carefully about this next one. Private photos?
Private photos. So, I mean,
maybe just don't take them?
Well, there's that.
Okay.
But, sometimes you save photos on your phone that are kind of inappropriate or anything like that. Your kid gets a hold of your phone. scrolling through photos. You just don't want anything like that.
I'm not
going to
ask for any scenario examples.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
In this conversation.
Never happened.
Speaking of photos, you say we should all make sure all of our photos are saved to a cloud service from the get-go. Like as we're taking them, they're being saved.
Yeah, because that's another problem. Someone loses their phone and then they've lost all of their photos. And so if you have it automatically saving to something like Dropbox, when you take it, it's just a simple toggle in the Dropbox app. Anytime you take a photo, it's automatically sent off to Dropbox. No matter what happens to your phone, you will always have that picture available.
I have done that, right? I'm
Yay,
preserving
I'm
the
so proud of
baby's
you.
histories.
Yes.
You also recommend, and we're hearing a lot more about this, two-factor authentication.
Yes, two-factor authentication, or it's called multi-factor authentication, is something you know and something you have. So the password is something you know. Usually your phone is the something you have. And so it'll send you a code or something like that in order to gain access. So if somebody understands or finds out what your password is, they still can't log into your account without that second level. And that is what's going to really secure your accounts.
How do you feel about biometrics, Sarah, like the facial recognition or the thumbprint as security?
Yeah, so it's really convenient. A lot of people, it's great, but it can be used for nefarious purposes. So your child is trying to access your parental controls that you've got on your phone. You're asleep. They just have to put your phone up to your face. They don't even have to wake you up, and they can unlock your device.
Darn these kids.
Right?
Darn these kids. I did see a funny reel on Instagram, I believe, of twins unlocking each other's phones. I mean, there are a few holes you could step in there.
Right, well, and some kids look so much like their parents that they can unlock their parents' phone
Kelly
as
Ripa
well.
had that. She said her son can unlock her phone because their facial features are so similar. All right, good things to consider. Sarah's always great about walking you through these big tech ideas and recommendations. How can we get more advice from you?
My Instagram account, Family Tech, and I'm at Family Tech Zone as well.
Make sure you give her a follow, Family Tech Zone. Thank you so much, Sarah.